Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There was an oppressive ruler who was known as Stalin. So with regards to the Stalin, there is one incident mentioned with regards to him. So one day he took one chicken, and he held it very stiff under his arm. And he started to, and he did this in front of his generals, his army generals. So he put this chicken under his arm and he held it stiff. And then he started plucking out the feathers. While the chicken is alive, he's plucking out the feathers. You can imagine now this chicken, how it's. So after he had plucked out quite a few feathers, he then threw the chicken on the ground. In a harsh manner, threw it on the ground. Then he took out a few grains from his pocket and he threw it there. So this chicken came pecking behind the grains. So much so that the chicken followed him. Wherever he's going, dropping a few grains, the chicken followed him. So he explained to his generals, he said, this is how you control people. You must restrict them, you confine them, you starve them, you can cause them pain, hurt, whatever you want to do. When you throw them a few grains, they'll become your slave. When it comes to Palestine, we find an oppressive regime that went in there and took away the whole land. A land belonging to a people. It belongs to them legally, they own it, living there for years and years. They went in there, took over their farms, took over their lands, killed the people, raped the women, did whatever they wanted to do. And now they sit like holier than thou. Oh, we gave you all one land there in the West Bank, Gaza, what you're complaining for? We gave you all a land. They came and stole the whole land. And then they gave them one small piece. So no, we gave you all land. Now why you all fighting and why you all being greedy and asking for more? And so this is an old strategy that is used by rulers, regimes, etc. for whatever their ends may be, whatever they try to achieve. The reason I'm mentioning this to you is that we were in a situation where we were totally restricted. Totally restricted. The rule with regards to restriction, when you confine a people, you restrict a people, then it is an internationally accepted rule that you must then take care of those people. The people that you restrict and you confine, you've got to take care of them. For example, there is a bird that is flying in the wild. You catch the bird and you confine it to a cage. Now it becomes your duty and responsibility to feed it, to clean it, to take care of it, because you have restricted it. If you are unable to do that, then you got no right to restrict it. A person is a criminal, has committed a crime. You take him and lock him up in prison. It now becomes your responsibility to feed him, ensure he's got clothing, ensure he's got his whatever he requires for his cleanliness, etc. You got to see to it that he's got it. If you don't, then you're regarded as an oppressor. So a people who do not have the capacity to take care of people after restricting them, then they got no right to restrict them. You got no right to restrict them if you do not have the capacity to take care of them. If I don't have money to feed a cat, then do I have a right to make that cat my pet and confine it to my home? It is zulam. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned with regards to a woman from the Bani Israel who kept a cat and she confined it, didn't allow it to go out and fend for itself, and she will be put in Jahannam for that. She will be put into Jahannam for that. So as I was mentioning, that we were totally confined, restricted, and then slowly a few things are being opened, and maybe with time all dunyavi activities will be opened up. All dunyavi activities will be opened up. Now all businesses are open. Maybe there's one or two things that are still you can't do, and the next level will come, those things will get opened up, etc. With regards to our masajid, so our masajid were totally out of bounds. Absolutely, you can't go there. A masjid has to be closed. Initially they told us we are allowed 100 congregants, and then after a week or so right now totally closed. Can't have anybody performing salah in the masjid. So the masajid had to be closed according to the law, government law. Our month of Ramadan came, requests were made. This is our month of Ramadan. Allow us to continue our ibadat, etc. in the masjid. This was denied. Our day of Eid came. It was requested again, allow us to make our Eid salah. It's only one salah. It's in an open space. Allow us to congregate, perform our Eid salah. That too was denied. And then they say, okay, you can open your masjid now. Not only your masjid, all places of worship can be open now. But you only allowed 50 congregants and a whole host of laws that go with it, restrictions. So in the community, you get those people who say, hey, now our masjid is open, We are all happy that our masajid are opened. But we must not be like that chicken. We must not forget that what is being given to us is no favor. What is being given to us is like that bully in school who steals your whole sandwich. And now you're sitting and pleading there with him that I'm hungry. So he cuts one piece of the crust and throws it at you and says, yeah, be happy with this. I'm not a politician. I'm not part of any political party. But why I'm explaining this to you is that if we don't keep what is the asal, if we don't keep it in mind, then with the passage of time, these laws, etc., we regard it like a favor and we regard it as the norm. And there are people in society, in community, They say, no, man, you know what? You mustn't say anything, you must just comply with everything. Just now they close the masjid again. Just keep quiet now. Whatever it is now, just accept it and just keep quiet. If we're going to just accept it and just keep quiet, then what did we build these so big masjids for? For only 50 people to come read namaz. Is that what Deen tells us? You must only allow 50 people to come read namaz in your masjid. Then there is an aspect of fear. People have become so paranoid, so afraid, that before the government told people to close the masjid, they already closed the masjid. And now when the government told you can open your masjid, although it's not really open, mustn't think it's open, it's not open, it's only allowing you 50 people, so it's not open, right? They're allowing you, or they dictating to us how many musallis can come read namaz in our masjid, right? So they say now 50 people can come. So now even when the government allowed that, now they're saying no, don't open the masjid. Don't open the masjid. Those very trustees and mutawallis who are saying don't open their masajid, it's nice to go and see if they open their businesses. Because if they are so afraid that by us coming, congregating in the masjid, people are going to get sick and people are going to die and all these type of things, then they should keep their businesses closed also. Because same thing can happen in their shops. They should keep their businesses closed. It's unfortunate that certain mutawallis, trustees, etc., they have taken the role like as if to say they own the masjid. That they can make up their mind when the masjid will be open, when the masjid will be closed. Yes, if they don't want to come to the masjid, that is their choice. They will have to answer to Allah Ta'ala. If they really feel that, the sickness is so bad and all these types of whatever the story is, then they can stay away. But what right do they have to lock the house of Allah Ta'ala? While it was in a lockdown period, then at that time you say, okay, it's government regulation, now what can we do? We can't go against the law. But now when there is no government regulation, there is a partial opening of the masjid, then what right do we have to then close the masjid? We don't have a right to close the masjid. Right? Then also, the manner in which they want us to read salah, this is not a manner prescribed by Huzur Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, our muftis, senior muftis of our country and also abroad, have issued fatwa that it is makruh at-tahrimi to stand in that manner in salah. Right? To stand in salah where you're leaving a meter or meter and a half or 2 meters, they keep changing their story, right? So much of gap between the musallis. So this is makruh at-tahrimi, right? So I ask you, I'm not saying defy the law, but I'm saying we must keep engaging, keep making dua. Don't become complacent now, hey, at least we got our masjid now. If we have to stand apart 1.5 meters and all that, never mind, just keep the government happy and carry on with our namaz. That shouldn't be the attitude. That shouldn't be the attitude. The attitude is that this is wrong. This is zulm on us. It is oppression. And we are not being allowed to practice our deen how we're supposed to practice our deen. So we can't just take this thing lying down. We have to engage in whichever channels, proper channels, and we have to keep engaging the government and explaining to them that this, what you are telling us to do, is incorrect. It is wrong. It's makruh at-tahrimi to leave these gaps. Now first they said, close the masjid, then some people came out to say that no, yeah, it's okay, it's just a sunnah to go to the masjid. So if it was just a sunnah to go to the masjid, those very same people, why did they waste all the public's funds to put up all these huge masjids? Why did they waste all the public's funds to put up all these huge masjids if it was not such an important thing in our deen? To read our salah together with Jamaat in the masjid is wajib. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given so much of warning for people who without a Shari'i reason. So why water down the importance to curry favor with whoever? We can't water down the importance. So at that time, they watered down something that was wajib. And the government stopped us from fulfilling something that was wajib in our deen. Now they are asking us to do something that is makruh tahrimi. Makruh tahrimi is something that is close to haram. Now they are asking us to do that. So now what we must say again, that no, just keep the government happy. We got freedom of religion. Which freedom of religion you got? So tomorrow, if their scientists have to tell them that see, this virus, it catches on the carpet, so nobody must go down on the floor. So they tell you that no, see, you want to read namaz in the masjid, then no problem, but no sajda. You mustn't make sajda. So then what are we going to say? Yeah, no, there is one masla in the fiqh kitab, you can make sajda with ishara. Are we going to then say that? So then they're going to push us to that limit to now leave out one faraz of namaz. Right? Then they push us to a limit to say, no, you must take your carpets out of the masjid. Then they push us to a limit to say that no, you know what, different people holding the Qurans and all that, a lot of viruses can spread here. One person will touch the Quran, somebody has to take out all the literature from your masjid. So then what's going to be left? What's going to be left of our deen? What happened in China? I'm not asking what happened in China with what they're calling a pandemic. What happened in China to the Muslims of China? That they kept making oppressive rules against them. Right? And those people say, all right, never mind, they're saying like this, all right, we can't wear scarf, okay, don't wear scarf. Right? We can't dress like this, right? Don't dress like that. We can't congregate for namaz, right? Don't. Eventually what they were doing? You can't fast. Month of Ramadan come, you mustn't fast. They come to a Muslim's home, you're fasting, you say, no, sir, I'd eat something then in front of us if you're not fasting. You Muslim, say, no, sir, I eat pork. Were they not forcing pork down the people's throats? So this is how these things work. They push you, you can, all right, they're only asking for this. Now why we must be so hard and why we must be so foolish? And then those people who want to practice deen, how it's supposed to be practiced, they are marginalized. That these fellows are causing it for us now. They're causing it for us. Right? The thing that really shocks me, really shocks me, and really hurts, is that the very same people, in every other sphere of their life, they don't worry about the rules. The man is driving on the highway, the speed limit is 100, the speed limit is 120, he is driving 160, 170, he is not worried. There is no, if the cop catch me, then we'll worry about it that time. The man is running his business, SARS has given him rules. how much taxes he have to pay and how he must run his business and how he must submit his financials and all of that. There he is doing all his own dammal. He's doing all his own, concocting his own story. There he said, no worry. We know how to cook the books. We know how to do this and that. We'll sort things out. If they catch us, we'll worry about it that time. The person is building his house. So by regulation is this. You still didn't get your plan passed for that. You didn't get engineers. Chalte ka naam gari bhai, carry on. When they come here, we'll talk to them. That building inspector, I know somebody who knows him and all, we'll sort it out, don't worry. Every other aspect in our life, we operate like that. But all of a sudden, when it came to the rules for the masjid, we gone one step ahead than the government too. Even what the government is not asking for, that too we doing. Why? Because this thing is not near and dear to our heart. That's why. It's not near and dear to our heart. That how did my Allah Ta'ala tell me to do this? How did my Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam tell me to do this? No, if I have to, no problem. If there's losses in this department, no problem. So don't lose focus. Don't lose focus. Don't be like that chicken. Right? We have got a right to worship our Allah Ta'ala. We have got a right to follow our deen. And we must continue to fight for that. We have got a duty to uphold our deen. We cannot reach a situation where we can find other modes of worship, other ways of worship, as the governments of the world are requesting the people. That now people need to find, we need to find alternate modes of worship. We can't do that. People who are following man-made religions, they can go ahead and do that. But we follow a religion which is from Allah Ta'ala, which is from Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And we can't alter that deen. We can't alter it. So don't be fooled into thinking, no, it's only this and it's only that. Namaz is a pillar of deen. This is not something that is nafal, something optional. This is a pillar of deen. And if they're interfering with your pillar of deen, the first pillar after Iman, what are they tackling? But our Iman has become very weak. Our Iman has become very weak. You see that wahan that Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam spoke about, we are victims of it. That we are frightened to die. That's the bottom line. Why the fear? Why they're not opening masjids? So no, people are all going to get sick, and then the Muslims are going to be blamed for this, and Muslims. Allah Ta'ala didn't make us responsible for viruses. So you must save lives, save lives. Which life you going to save? You can't see the virus. How are you going to save somebody's life with a virus? Yes, if I take a weapon and go to harm somebody, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that. I must save life in that respect. I must drive properly. I mustn't drive recklessly. I must behave properly. A virus, something that you can't see, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wusaha. We are not mukallaf of that. Now we're becoming this paranoia, so much of fear put into people, right? That anything that is demanded of you after that, you are prepared to do it. You are prepared to do it because we are afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid that I'm going to get sick and I'm going to die. who is to die, that is decreed by Allah Ta'ala. Who is to live, that too is decreed by Allah Ta'ala. Who is to get sick, who is to remain healthy, all these things are decreed by Allah Ta'ala. So it is really, it's a pain. It's really, really hurtful to see our own, leave the non-Muslims, leave the government, but to see our own speaking like this and behaving like this is really, really hurtful. If a person has got his fears and whatever, I stay at home. No problem. But those who want to read namaz how it's supposed to be read, then why become a thorn for them? Why become a thorn for them? We can't do something, why stand in the way of somebody who wants to do it? So keep what we had, keep it in mind, keep that in mind and work towards that. Work towards that and even better than that. We can't just sit down, become complacent and say, it's fine. Right? Huzur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, how many different options were given to him? In the end they told him, it's all right, just don't speak bad of our idols, that's all. Right? Just don't speak bad of our idols, that's all. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, no, that too I can't accept. Now, by Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taking that stance, what would happen to the Sahaba radiyallahu anhu? What would happen to the Sahaba radiyallahu anhu? How many of them passed away? How many battles were fought? How many became shaheed? Was Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's own daughter not harmed? Fell off her mount, had a miscarriage? By wallahi, we, with our Iman, had we been living at that time, Allah alone knows which side we would have been on. Allah Ta'ala alone knows which side we would have been on. Whether we would have been like Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala, that when he came in the defense of Huzur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he was beaten up so badly, that if he just took his hand and put on his head, his hair was coming off. So badly he was beaten up. Unconscious, where his family people thought he's going to pass away. Right? And when he regains consciousness, and now the mother is told that, bring something for him, give him something to eat, give him something, And the first thing he wants to know is, how is Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? They tell him that we told you don't befriend him. It is that same friendship that you have for him that landed you in all of this. And you still now, you're asking about him. He is the reason that you are in this condition. His uncles and family members who were there, they got fed up. They got upset with him and they left him and went away. If Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had to adopt that kind of attitude, that no, those people are the government, we mustn't upset them. Never mind, we just keep quiet. Would deen have come to me and you? So what is right is right. What is wrong is wrong. We can't agree to the wrong, because we are afraid of consequences. We can't agree to the wrong because we're afraid of consequences. Then where is our Iman? Where is our Iman? What do we stand for? We hear about Dajjal and we say, no, if I'm around when Dajjal comes, no, I'm going to be that one person who he's going to try to cut my throat and everything. I'm that one. You know that incident. Dajjal will saw that person in half and walk in between him and then put him together and say, now do you believe that I am God? And he will say to Dajjal that now I'm even more convinced that you are Dajjal. Because my Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told me you're going to do this. So all of us, we think our Iman is that person's Iman. No. If I'm living that time, it can't be anybody else. It has to be me. I'm going to be the one who's going to do that. We think like that. So now where that Iman is gone now? Where that Iman is gone today? Where it's gone? They say that Dajjal, people will follow him. He will play his music, his magic, he will throw his wealth, he will throw his power. Right? And if you don't listen to him, you will suffer. You will suffer if you don't listen to him. So we think, no. Oh, that time, we will be those on the mountain. Our food will be zikrullah. You know, we are fooling ourselves. We're fooling ourselves. If we can't stand firm in our deen now, when are you going to stand? When are we going to be firm in our deen? For our business, we take a chance. For building, everything we take a chance. No, don't worry. Everything we take a chance. But to read namaz properly, no, this is regulation. Man. Regulation. Only in the masjid we have to uphold that regulation. Then people say, no, but in Haram Sharif they're reading like this. All this time, when, what was that brother's name, got killed in the embassy? Khashoggi. And before that, how many things happened? And they brought the concerts there and the opening movie. Then everybody was talking bad about the same ruler. So why now he must become our leader in this matter? In everything we're condemning him. Now all of a sudden in this matter, now we must use him as an example. Our complaint is to Allah Ta'ala. Our complaint is to Allah Ta'ala. And we seek help from Allah and Allah alone. But it is really, really heartbreaking and sad to see our situation. Myself included, I'm not saying pointing fingers at anybody else. My own Iman is so weak. Our Iman is very, very weak. And we have to make a lot of effort on our Iman. Shah Ta'ullah Bukhari Rahmatullah and his son, he was giving a bayan. And they say that in the bayan, he was talking about something else. All of a sudden, in the midst of his bayan, he just, switched. And he said, make the tarbiyat of your children and establish deen in your home. Become firm in deen. Because the day will come when you won't be able to access your masajid. 30 years ago, he mentioned this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. Allah ta'ala give us tawfiq. Whatever resources Allah ta'ala has given us, we use those resources to uphold the deen of Allah ta'ala. That is our purpose on earth. Everything else is by the way. You must uphold the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And many, many fitnas are going to come. Many, many fitnas are going to come. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us that this ummah will get divided into 73 sects. Only one is going to be on haqq. Only one is going to be on haqq. Only one is going to go to Jannat. So we must keep the life of Huzur Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam in front of us, our deen in front of us, the lives of the Sahaba Rananum in front of us, the Tabi'een, the Tabu'ut Tabi'een, our Akabirin. These are our guides. These are our guides. Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq. I want to tell you one incident. We will conclude. I heard this incident from our Hazrat Mufti Ibrahim Saliji Sahib, Barakatuh. It's a famously known incident, but I didn't know the last part of it. There was a person, Pakistan, years ago. His name was Alamuddin. So somebody had blasphemed Huzur Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This Alamuddin, his Iman came in the front, His love for Huzur Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He couldn't take it that this person has mentioned these things with regards to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he took a dagger and dispatched that person to Jahannam. So obviously he was now arrested for murder. When he was arrested, so his counsel, legal counsel, they explained to him that, look now, this is a Muslim country, so they will be sympathetic towards you. But there's certain things you will have to follow, and we can get you out of this thing. So first thing, you must plead not guilty. You must deny having done this crime. So he told them, he says, see, I can't do that. I did this act and I will take responsibility for it. And people must know that they can't speak like this about Huzur Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I will take responsibility for this. So now the court case is dragging, So the one day in the court, he stood up and he told the judge, he says, see, you know what sentence you have to give me. Now they too were frightened, the backlash from the community and what's going to happen, whatever. So he told the judge, he said, you know what sentence you have to give me. So please pass the sentence quickly, because now I'm actually feeling embarrassed. So the judge passed the sentence, and this person had to be taken to the gallows, put to death. So his close circle, they asked him, why did you do such a foolish thing? You could have pulled this thing and something could have happened, some technicality, whatever. Why did you rush the judge? So he said, Allah Ta'ala removed the pardas for me. And I can see Huzur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Sahaba Radiyallahu Anhum, they have come to fetch me. And the judge is delaying. And I'm embarrassed that I'm keeping Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam waiting for me. Those are our aspirations. That is what we live for. That with the help of Allah Ta'ala, the day we pass away, when our ruh goes in front of Allah Ta'ala, Allah Ta'ala must be pleased with that ruh of ours. And when we meet Huzur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on the plains of Hashar, Huzur Aqdas Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam must be pleased with us. That's what we live for. Everything else is by the way. Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana. اللهم إنا نسألك الصحة والعفة والأمانة وحسن الخلق والرضا بالقدر. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى من الفعل والقول والنية والهدى، إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه نبيك سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، ونعوذ بك من كل شر ما استعاذ منه نبيك سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.